Alrighty everyone, what is going on, and welcome back to today's video. In today's video we are doing the last attacker in Rainbow Six Siege is Operator Guide. So I've completely crossed out attackers. All that's left is Rook and Clash. So I don't even know if I'm going to do a Rook guide because there's absolutely nothing to cover in a Rook guide. You put down his armor and that's that, and yeah, so there's not really much to do in a Rook guide, but if you guys really want one, let me know down below and I will do one. But otherwise, this is the last attacker ever. Obviously I'll go back and do other people, but we've officially covered every attacker in Rainbow Six Siege after doing Carly. So yeah, that's how long I've been on YouTube, that's how long I've been sitting here every Sunday doing operator guides. And yeah, so never broke consistency, always been here, and hopefully you guys have been along for the ride for however long you guys have been here. With that said though, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, drop a sub, notification bell. Also make sure to come check out my Twitch streams, links in the description down below. I'd love to see you guys there. And with that said, let's get into the Carly guide. As always, we're going to start off with a weapon review, then we're going to move on to the gadget utilization and finish off with the operator strategies. So without further ado, let's get into the weapon review. Carly has access to one primary weapon and two secondary weapons. Her primary weapon is obviously her trademark weapon, which is known as the CRRX300 is its official name, and otherwise it's just Carly's sniper. I think most people know it as. It's considered a marksman rifle, which I thought it was a sniper, but I'm trolling apparently. It's a straight pullback bolt action custom built rifle with integrated multi-zoom scope chambered in .300 Win mag. So that is literally the description that it says on R6, and apparently it does 122 damage, but I'm pretty sure I've gotten hit markers with this thing before, so that's complete. Yeah, I don't know what damage drop off is. I really don't know. It's I don't know where these damage stats are measured from. The same with the recoil as well. I don't know how far back they measure these from, but they are somewhat relevant. And 5 bullets in the magazine as well. You can shoot this thing 5 times. It's obviously a bolt, so it has like a drawback, and then you get to shoot again. I'm pretty sure you can shoot like maybe once every 3-4 seconds, I'd say, consistently, which isn't that bad. I think that's pretty good, to be honest. But in the grand scheme, I think it's definitely just a very powerful weapon, and obviously there is the backup weapons she has access to as well. If you're not in a situation where sniping is going to work, preferably, obviously I said this with Glaz. If you're going to use the sniper, I feel like you want to be at a more ranged game. You don't really want to be on top of people when you're playing Carly and utilizing the sniper. It can work, but I feel like it's most effective if you use one of her secondaries at close range and her primary at mid to long range. I feel like it's the best effectivity you can get out of her weapons. But speaking about that, let's get into her secondary weapons. In terms of secondary weapons, she has access to the what's this called? SPS MG9 machine pistol, which was introduced with Clash. It does 33 damage on 980 rounds per minute fire rate, and for a gun with such a high fire rate, I feel like this gun definitely doesn't have too difficult of a recoil pattern to control. In my opinion, I think it's definitely controllable. It has 20 bullets in the magazine as well, so I'd say it's just your standard machine pistol. Shoots incredibly fast, outputs a fair bit of damage in a high speed, but obviously its recoil is a lot more difficult to control than your average AR. But as I said before, I think this one's not too difficult to control, and it's the same with her other secondary weapon, the C75 Auto, which does 35 damage on 1000 fire rate. So when I'm looking at this, C75 Auto 35 1000, SPS 33 980. So technically in every aspect, the C75 is better. So in terms of just using a sheer powered weapon, the C75 is obviously better. But looking at its recoil pattern, there's definitely more recoil on the C75 than there is on the SPS. The SPS definitely has probably the most minimalistic recoil you'll find on a machine pistol. But the C75 definitely does have better stats, and obviously higher damage, higher fire rate, higher bullet capacity as well, as 26 rounds in the magazine over the 20 that the SPS has. So I definitely think the C75 is the better weapon, but depending on your level of recoil control, it really just depends on what you feel comfortable using, in all honesty. And that's you can say the same about that with every weapon. Whatever you feel most comfortable using is the weapon you probably should be using. But in terms of just overall statistics, C75 is better, but if you want something with a little less recoil problems, the SPS is your alternative, and it only drops stats very minimally, like 2 damage and 20 fire rate, which are 2 very minimalistic stats that you probably won't even notice. So I think you'll probably be fine, and 20 bullets in the magazine over the 26, something else you won't notice, especially in a machine pistol. And actually another positive of the SPS is it has a sight. It has an inbuilt sight. It's like a little unique sight that it has. The C75, you are stuck with iron sights. There's no sight you can put on it. So just another little thing to add on in terms of your decision making with the weapons. I personally would probably go with the C75, but it's really up to you. In terms of her gadgets, she has access to the Claymore and the Breach Charge. I think in terms of Carly's playstyle with the whole sniper thing, the Claymore's probably going to fit her playstyle better. But if you can see yourself using Breach Charges and actually utilizing them effectively, make sure to bring them. But I think Claymores are the easiest gadget to actually remember to use, and they can be handy even if they have nothing to do with where you're going, because they can help out your team in a high what's the word? I don't know. I can't remember the word. Just a high chance, I suppose, a high chance area of getting run out. That's not the word I wanted, but good enough. So Claymores work there, but either one works as well. It really just is your opinion. But my full loadout recommendation would probably be, obviously, a primary C75 Claymore. Let's get into the operator strategies. Let's not get into the operator strategies, let's get into the gadget utilization. Carly has access to the LV Explosive Lance, which is an underbarrel mechanical projectile that explodes within a set radius to destroy gadgets on both sides of unbreakable and reinforced surfaces. That is the official Rainbow Six Siege description. I'd say that sums it up pretty well. If you didn't know already, her primary weapon has I think it's an underbarrel that goes underneath her sniper, which has, I'm pretty sure she has access to, is it 2? I think it's 2. I probably should confirm this, but I'm just going to say 2 or 3. I have no idea, I'm sorry. But she has access to however many of these she has, and she is able to shoot them at reinforced or breakable walls, and she is able to destroy gadgets on both sides, as it said there. So this is obviously a form of gadget destruction. It is another form of Thatcher. It is an evolution of Thatcher, I suppose. And if Thatcher is banned, I feel like she's probably the second go-to operator in terms of through-wall destruction. Only Thatcher has access to that type of power, and Thatcher only disables gadgets with his nerf that he got a while back. And Carly still does destroy, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure she fully destroys them. So this is, but obviously she has a much smaller range, and obviously it's just not as effective to use because Thatcher has access to an AR-33 where Carly has access to a sniper. So that's why not many people use Carly, because obviously she lacks the primary weapon loadout. But she still does have access to quite a powerful gadget, and she definitely is a great alternative to Thatcher if Thatcher does end up getting banned. And I think she definitely can be played in maps where you really need that hard breach to be going through, which is Border, Chalet. There's multiple different map examples that I can list, but that's the two that come to mind off the top of my head. And I think utilizing Carly in these situations is very good. I think there's nothing wrong with bringing her. I think you definitely should bring her, especially if you are planning to strategize with a hard breach push. I think, and Thatcher's not in playability. Obviously, I will always recommend you bring Thatcher over Carly, but if Thatcher's not in play, Carly is 100% a great alternative to bring, and I think she definitely fits the role perfectly in terms of assist hard breaching, and she also has a lot of power in her loadout. Obviously she doesn't have an AR, but her gun does still do a lot of damage, especially if you're pretty close to people. If you're peeking, say, a hard breached wall that you just opened up, most of the time the people that are going to peek you are probably going to be in range of you to one-tap them. And that's why peeking Carly is such a struggle, because if she hits that first shot, she wins, because most of the time she is going to one-hit you unless you are very far away. I really don't know what I think it might be the specific parts of the body she hits, or the drop-off, I really don't know. But in terms of overall utilization, she can bring a lot of power, and peeking her is definitely something, me personally, I hate doing, because I know that she has the potential to hit one shot, and I'm out of it, I'm dead. I can't, unless she misses that first shot, majority of the time, you don't have a chance as a peeker unless you really know very accurately where she is, like you have a ping, or you just watched her and you hit her with a fat pre-fire before she can react. Otherwise, I feel like 99% of the time she is going to win that battle as long as she hits that shot. So it really depends on what rank you're playing in, on how consistently that shot's going to get hit. But in overall utilization, she does bring a lot of power in terms of her gadget, and as I said, is a great alternative to Thatcher if Thatcher is not in play. And that basically sums up her gadget utilization as best as I can. Obviously, you want to work with the Thermite. She is best used for hard breaching assistance, but she can also be used for just gadget destruction, which obviously she has access to. If you know there's a gadget that you want to get rid of, you can obviously utilize that as well. You can chuck this on hatches as well to get rid of Cades, etc. Just anything that Thatcher would do, Carly can do as well. So in terms of her operator strategies, she is a 2 speed, 2 armor, and I think she definitely fits into the flexible role more on the support side, but she definitely does have fragging capabilities if you are good enough. That is basically the best way to sum it up. Carly is a very big threat, but you obviously have to be able to hit your shots, and especially as the ranks go up, people are going to start moving around more. Yeah, people are going to start doing all these different strategies to get, when they see a Carly, to not get hit by a Carly. So you obviously need to be effective with that shot, and you can't really miss, because if you miss that first shot, that drawback that you're going to get is way too long, and you're probably going to get killed by someone spraying an MP7 at you. So that's the problem with using Carly. But if you do master hitting that first shot, I think you really will have a lot of power in terms of utilizing Carly, and I think she definitely is an underrated operator in terms of how much utilization she actually has. I think she's just overlooked because obviously the lack of a primary weapon. A sniper, obviously, is people who play console obviously have it even worse than people who play PC because we can't aim for shit, and etc. But yeah, pretty much Carly just has a lot of utilization in the support side, and I feel like that's where she should be dominated by. But she has potential to get those kills in after a lot of practice. I think that's definitely the best sum up I can give of Carly as a whole operator. But with that said, that's enough from me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, drop a sub notification bell, and also make sure to come check out my Twitch streams. Links in the description down below. I'd love to see more people there. I stream there nearly every day, and I don't play Siege, I'll be honest, but I do stream there every day. And it would definitely be good to see some people there just chilling, hanging out, having a good time. But with that said, hope you found this video useful. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, also let me know what I can do better. Leave your tips that you think I missed out, etc. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.